What's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. I am the Marketing Nomad. Alrighty, so today is Yugadi for us. It is a festival. Yuga means era and Adi means new. So it is the start of the Hindu calendar year. And yeah, that's why I am a little bit dressed up today. But I thought I would sit here and talk to you a little bit about something that's been on my mind and something that I've actually been working on for I guess I would say a couple of months now. It has been so difficult. I cannot even begin to tell you. It's been really, really difficult. And it's something I do want to say heads up. It's not something that I've worked through. It's something that I am actively working on. I feel like I will have to be working on it for the rest of my life because it's that intense. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what I mean when I say I'm working on something. All right, so backstory. A couple of months ago, I think it would be a year ago, what I realized was that I was reacting too quickly to situations and I would often regret how I reacted. Either I would find out more information and then I would regret my reaction, or I would just realize that I was projecting maybe some of my past experiences, my past pain, onto that moment, which was completely irrelevant, or it wasn't necessary for me to react based on my past experiences. And I realized that it wasn't making me feel good. I also realized that I don't want to react. I want to respond to situations. And I feel like a big chunk of my life, I have been very quick to react. In fact, I think that I was known for it by the people around me. And I also am starting to realize that that is an identity that I don't want to have anymore. And it is an identity that I want to step away from. I want to be someone who responds rather than reacts. I don't want my past to haunt me in this way, because I feel like a lot of times I am reacting based on wounds of my past, based on past experiences, based on maybe trauma responses. So I want to kind of take a step away from that. I want to learn how to respond. So this has been something that I have been actively trying to do. It's just very difficult. I am going to be very honest with you. It is so difficult. So one of the things that I have been trying, and it has worked to a certain degree, is instead of understanding or thinking that everything needs my reaction at that point in time, I've been teaching myself how to pause before reacting. So I've not yet come to the stage of responding rather than reacting. So I'm kind of like in an in-between phase where I am teaching myself that instead of a reaction, like an immediate reaction, we are going to pause. It's okay if we don't know what to do in that moment of time. It's okay if we are not ready to respond at that moment of time, but we are going to pause. We are just going to pause. Whatever urgency we feel like, oh my gosh, I really need to react to this right now, we are going to put a pin on that. We are going to pause. If we feel that the other person needs our thoughts at that point in time, we are going to pause on that. Whatever urgency, whatever panic is coming through, we are going to learn how to sit with it and we are going to pause. So that's kind of my thought process, at least for the last couple of months. I have to say that it has been working well for me. I think that there are fewer instances where I am reacting and instead I'm finding myself pausing. I'm finding myself sitting with silence rather than having any kind of reaction at that point in time. I may not necessarily know what to respond or how to respond, and I'm telling myself that that's okay. That's okay. That's the next step of the process. We're not going to jump any steps. We're going to just learn how to sit with our reaction rather than getting it out of me and then not being able to take it back or being helpless that it is now something I cannot control anymore. I will say that I've been making good progress, not excellent, but good progress with this. Like if someone says something that is triggering me and I can feel that energy kind of bubbling up within me, I'm learning to choose not to react to them at that point in time. I'm choosing silence at that point in time. Previously, I think my relationship with silence was a little bit unhealthy, as in I used to think that silence was wrong or bad, or it was constantly working against me. I would constantly have this thought that, okay, I need to let the other person know that I have been affected. I am sad. I am upset, or this has had an impact on me. I need to let the other person know. And silence means that I am being passive, or I am accepting what they're saying without, even if I don't agree internally within myself. So I feel like a lot had to do with my own relationship with silence. Like I had to rewire what silence means to me. So today, I don't perceive silence, or at least I'm learning, all right? This is a process for me. It's quite difficult, to be very honest with you. I feel like my relationship with silence, like it had become so unhealthy that there was so much of resistance I could feel within me as I was trying to rewire my thoughts about silence. So right now, what I'm learning is that silence doesn't necessarily mean I agree with the other person's thought process, or I agree with what is going on. It just is time that I am giving myself to adjust, to understand what I'm feeling, and then to choose my reaction, or I guess I would say my response to that situation. It doesn't mean I agree. It doesn't mean I am downtrodden. That's also one more like fear that I had, that maybe that silence means that the other person has some kind of weird power over me, or the power dynamic has shifted between us and this person is going to trample upon me. Again, all of these thought processes that I have, very kind to myself as I'm like experiencing these thought processes, because I've been through situations like this and multiple times where the silence did mean something different and meant something harmful to me in that process. So again, this is me trying to rewire my connection with silence, that yes, sometimes that could mean that way, but it's not all the time, and we get to change our relationship accordingly, right? So yeah, learning how to pause before reacting, it's been difficult, to be very honest with you. I think I have been someone who is very quick to react, very like it has to be said. Like if I feel something, it has to be said. So I'm rewiring that aspect of me, that part of me that felt scared, because I feel like those impulsive reactions were coming out of fear, either fear of changing the power dynamic, either fear of being trampled upon, fear of not ever expressing my thoughts, fear of the other person overriding my thoughts and feelings, so on and so forth. So I would feel that me exerting my reaction at that point in time was coming out of a place of fear. So I'm learning how to rewire that at this point in time. I'm learning, I may not necessarily know what to respond at that point in time, because I'm still learning, I'm still healing, I'm still going through my process, but I'm learning how to just give myself that pause, allow myself to sit in the silence, whether that is waiting for the situation to turn around or for more facts to come in so that I have more information and I can decide my response accordingly. I'm learning how to pause so that I can understand what thoughts or feelings are coming up to the surface, whether it is a projection of my past, whether it's a projection of my wounds, or am I genuinely actually feeling that way because of what is unfolding at this present moment. I'm also, giving myself that time, that pause, so that I can, if something is being triggered within me, it's not coming out of me just yet for the other person to handle or manage, because that's unfair to them. I'm allowing myself the time that I need to manage and regulate my own emotions before it comes out of me. It's that little bit of time that, even if, yes, the situation is making me angry, I'm pausing so that I can at least regulate my emotions, maybe find aligned words to say to express my anger in a healthy way, so on and so forth. So it's difficult. I have my I have my hits and my misses. But it's something that I am being intentionally conscious about at this point, because I feel like that's the identity I want to embody. Someone who, first off, pauses before giving any kind of reaction to a situation, to fully take in what is going on. Someone who is at least observing how she is reacting to the situation internally first, and then see what needs to be, how it can be put out in a healthy way. I also want to be like the identity that I am working towards is someone who responds rather than reacts. So it's a journey, it's a process. I felt like sharing this with you because I feel like maybe it's something I'm still working on. And sometimes what I share on this channel is things that I've already worked through and then I've found success with it and then I'm feeling like really good about it. But this one is something that's in the process and I'm still making progress towards it. Like I said, I have my hits, I have my misses. Sometimes it just comes out and then again, I have to like kind of talk myself through it that, okay, next time this happens, we are going to pause. We are going to count 1 up until how much ever we need to count in our mind. We're not going to stick to 3 because apparently that's not going to work. So all of these like thought processes, all of this like talk is kind of going on simultaneously within me. So it's happening as I'm talking to you about it. Maybe I'll have an update about this a year down the line because I feel like it is taking that long. Like it's been I would say 8 to 12 months of me working on this consciously, and I still feel like there are moments where I've not gotten a hang of this. So I feel like it might take another year for me to get to a point where I am responding rather than reacting. But for now, I'm pausing before I'm reacting. And that for me is an in-between stage that I feel, okay, well, this is something that I can do. Yes, I will have a few misses, and that's okay, but this is something that I feel ready to do at this point in time. So I wanted to share that with you in case this is something that's on your mind and something that you feel, okay, you want to maybe align, you want to maybe start responding, because I feel like when we respond rather than react, I think that gives chance for us to show up as a healthier version of ourselves. It gives us a time to evaluate, or gives us the time to evaluate if we are responding based on past projections, wound projections, or if we're actually feeling that way. And that few minutes or that pause, how much ever pause you wish to take, yeah, that's also something that I've kind of like been telling myself, like, don't keep it restricted to minutes. Sometimes you want to take pause for a few days. Allow yourself the time that you need to pause and actually evaluate the situation, or actually go through the process of understanding where you are at, rather than it being an impulsive reaction to the situation. So whether that is something with respect to my business, something not going right, and then previously in the past, like as close as 2 years ago, I would like go into panic mode and I'll like impulsively react to it. But today, as recently as February, first 2 weeks of February, I was kind of going through like a little bit of a difficult time with my business, and I chose to pause in that moment of time. I actually took like a couple of days off just to pause. It was 3 days, and I've like even put it on my calendar that you really needed this time. It's okay. We're not panicking. We're not going to react out of the panic. We can panic, but we're not going to react. We're not going to base our actions on that panic. We're going to take some time, calm down, pause, evaluate the entire situation for what it really is, and then we will decide what we want to do at that point in time. And that I felt was such a game changer for me, because I was able to, even give myself those few seconds to pause. And to be very honest with you, I actually found amazing solutions because of that pause. I was able to evaluate the entire spectrum of what was actually going wrong. Turned out it was actually a very small part of it, but in my mind, I kind of blown up to a very big, to something that was very, very big. But that was, again, my past experiences kind of playing through, and this was me learning how to rewire that narrative in me. So it has helped, and I feel like it also can be in your relationships, in situations that you find yourself, like maybe someone, an unknown like person or a stranger on the street is saying something and it's triggering you. Instead of reacting, just those few seconds of pause to actually evaluate what that situation is, where the other person is coming from. I feel like in the past, I have found myself in situations where I've reacted immediately, and then I found out more information right after that, and then I felt guilty for reacting the way that I did because I didn't have the information on hand. But that was my fault, because I needed to actually gain more information before I reacted. So this is something that I'm still actively working on, and I would love to hear your experiences as well. Is this something that you have, maybe worked on and you've succeeded? I would love tips. Anything that you feel you have advice. If something's worked for you, that's also going to help me as well. and maybe there's some like tips and tricks on how you learn or how you learned to respond rather than react. Because for me, one of the tips that I have for you right now is that I'm learning to pause first. That's my intermediate step, but at some point I'm going to learn how to respond, and maybe still take on the step of pausing, but eventually I want to get to a point where I'm responding rather than reacting. So this is like kind of my in-between step. So yeah, this is where I'm at. Would love your thoughts and your advice. And if you have any comments, if you too, are on this journey with me, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But just wanted to share that this is a tip or this is a trick that has been working well for me. Misses, yes, but there are more hits than misses. And I'll say that I feel much more in control of myself and my narratives that are going on in my mind. And I feel like the situations are being contained at that point in time rather than me making it worse or me drifting it off into a completely different direction than it was intended to at that point. All right. So I just wanted to share this with you. I really hope that this helped you in some way. If it did, or if this made you start to think about how you want to go about this, definitely do give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that tells you every single time I do upload a video. And yeah, take care. And I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.